Hi there guys, SGW Knives here. It's getting catchy, isn't it? This is a knife video. It's not on knives as such, it's on bushy crafty type of things, so you know. But I said I'd do a video quite a while ago because I was just umming and ahhing myself, and I ended up doing a bit of research on grits of sharpening stones and sharpening things in general. There are some good stuff out there. There's some quite good charts and things people do. What I will say is that you've got to take what I'm going to say now as a generalisation, a pretty close generalisation, but a generalisation nonetheless, because each manufacturer might call, like I say, I will refer to some stones as, like say, fine, medium, coarse, extra fine. That will vary, whether it's a diamond stone, whether it's a Japanese water stone, whatever. It will vary very slightly in actually what that is. Now, reading about it, what the guys who have got a lot better equipment than I have, because I haven't got any, they talk about bringing everything down to the micron size of the grit that you're using. So whether often you'll get manufacturers talk about a particular grit size or a polishing size or whatever else, and that varies for every manufacturer. What doesn't vary is the actual micron size, and that's when you've got these like micro telescopes or whatever else, and they can actually measure the size of the grit and the things that you're looking at. So what I've done is I've gone through the main ones and I've pulled them out here, so please excuse me constantly looking down because I haven't memorised them, I've just got a rough idea, and I don't want to go completely wrong because no doubt somebody will go, oh, it's wrong with that one, oh, it's wrong with that one. But as a rough idea, what I've done is I've split it into basically diamond stones, and again, you've got to be careful because different manufacturers have slightly different ideas, and that will equate slightly different to the micron size, but as a generalisation, it's bloody close enough. What I would recommend is, if you're going to buy, say, diamond stones, buy one manufacturer's, because for argument's sake, one manufacturer's fine might be the same as another one's extra fine, or a medium might be a fine, or a medium might be a coarse, or something like that. Japanese water stones, I'm not sure how accurate they are because they generally talk in numbers, like, you know, 400, 600, 1,000, 6,000, whatever else. Sounds great, but we'll get to that in a minute. And then you've got your carbonundrum stones, and again, they are grit sized, but they're often referred to it as coarse or medium, so it might vary depending on the different ones that you go to. So here we go, a rough idea, so please don't be sending me hundreds and hundreds of things saying you were wrong, because this is a rough idea, but it will at least give you a working idea of where you're at when you're talking to somebody else. So if you go, oh, I use diamond stones at so and so, and somebody else I use Japanese water stones and I use whatever, it will give you a ballpark figure of how close you are. So on diamond, an extra coarse in diamond will equate roughly to a 200 Japanese water stone or a coarse 120 grit paper, approximately. Just over that, you've then got 300 grit papers, and that's slightly in between the different grades then, because you go from extra coarse, which is 200 and 120 grit, roughly. Then you get coarse, obviously, extra coarse, coarse. That is approximately a 400 grit, or a 400 Japanese water stone, or a fine India stone. Not all that long ago, in, I believe, like, you know, Europe and things like that, but the finest stones you got was about a 400, which was classed as a fine oil stone. And then after that, people would tend to strop it. So that gives you an idea. Like a 400 or a fine oil stone is generally, people used to shave with that. You know, just sharpen the edge up and then strop them. From extra coarse to coarse, then you get to medium. Now at medium, you're looking at approximately a 600 water stone and a soft Arkansas stone. So again, you're starting bringing different stones in here. Now, things like your India stones generally don't go below about 400. So that's a fine India oil stone, which is a 400 Jap or a coarse. When you get to medium, you're looking around a 600 Japanese stone, which is a soft Arkansas. Then you get to a fine diamond, and again it's starting to blur a little bit here, but a fine diamond, you're looking at somewhere around an 800 to 1000 Japanese waterstone. I couldn't find a similar thing that equated to that with the man-made or made stones until you get to an extra fine. Now an extra fine, the micron size is approximately the same as a 1200 Japanese waterstone. So the Japanese waterstone seems to go 2, 4, 6, 12. The ones I've found. There might be an 8 out there, I don't know. If there's an 8, it's probably a fine diamond stone. If not, then you go straight to 12, which is an extra fine diamond stone, or a hard Arkansas. So that's the difference between a soft Arkansas, which is 6, and a hard Arkansas at 12. Then just over that, you get into a hard black Arkansas, which is something like a 2000 Japanese waterstone. So that's a hard black Arkansas stone. That's about as far as they go. Then from some of the man-made stuff like the diamond stones often then switch to ceramic. So I know the Lansky switches from an extra fine to a ceramic, and their fine ceramic, a fine ceramic stone, is an equivalent to 3000 waterstone. There isn't an equivalent to that I could find. Then you go to a ceramic extra fine. Now a ceramic extra fine is around the 6 to 8,000. It's in that ballpark, the 6 to 8,000 Japanese waterstone. And you're starting looking at polishing pastes at this point for man-made type of stuff. So if you've got, if you're doing your Japanese waterstones, no, it's a 6,000 grit Japanese, a 6,000, not a grit, it's a 6,000 Japanese waterstone, and you're using an extra fine ceramic, you're actually in the same ballpark. So like an extra fine ceramic in a Lansky system is in the same ballpark as a 6 to 8,000 Japanese waterstone. And like I say, you're starting to get to the polishing paste level here, which is why you build up the slurry on the Japanese stones. That's the whole point of the slurry. That slurry is basically a polishing paste. A standard polishing paste is about 3 microns. That's your standard polishing paste. That then goes to 1 micron, and a 1 micron would be a 16,000 Japanese waterstone. There isn't a ceramic to match it, but that's a 16,000 waterstone is a 1 micron. So that's pretty much, and then obviously after that you're talking about plain leather and the glass, an edge on a piece. Bit of a blip there, hope it's smooth reasonably. The most beloved's just going out to yoga. I'm going to go have a drink in a minute. Oh, I won't tell her, I'm not. Right, so yep, so once you get to you're onto your 16,000 Jack waterstone, which is a 1 micron polishing paste, so a very fine polishing paste. So anybody who's using things like the blocks, the polishing blocks, you often get a coarse, medium and fine. They call that a cutting paste, sort of like a grinding paste, a cutting paste and a polishing paste. Your polishing paste, you're down to about a 1 micron. That's really where you get into sort of like your mirror edge polishing type of stuff. Other than that, then you're down to things like polishing on actually smooth leather, newspaper. Some people use newspaper and say, oh, the ink in the newspaper has carbon in it, and it adds carbon to the steel, and it gives a bit to the edge. I don't know, And a piece of glass, a rounded, polished piece of glass. Some people do that. I actually think that's a bit higher, but that gives a bit of bite. Apparently, Ray Mears says it gives bite, and actually, I think what that means it does is it's not a fine polish in the end. What you're actually doing is the glass. I think the glass is actually the exact opposite. You've got that polished edge on there, and that glass minutely gives you teeth, and that gives you a bit of bite. That's my opinion. I don't have a microscope, so I don't know. I can't prove it, but I'm probably not far off. So that's basically an idea of all the grits and everything like that. So I'm going to shut up here because I tend to waffle on a little bit, especially when I'm tired. So I hope that was interesting and give you a bit of an idea of the difference. So if you're used to sharpening something on your Lansky system and you're on to a and I think you've extra fine stone, and somebody says, oh yes, extra fine. Well, I use a 1200 Japanese waterstone. They're actually using the same thing. You've got to look at the micron size of the grit particles to tell you what you're actually doing. The numbers are immaterial. But whatever you do, stick to a similar manufacturer because they will use the same grading. So if you're going to buy diamond stones, and like I say, you're going to get extra coarse, medium, fine, extra fine. if you swap to another manufacturer, they might be using a different micron size. So find somebody you're happy with, Google it, get some recommendations. You know, there's different whether you're using the trapezoidal diamond stones or single grit diamond stones or whatever else. You know, and be realistic. You know, if you're a single person who does a bit of bushcrafting and likes to keep your knife sharp, you know, you don't have to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds to do that. You just don't. You know, you'll get a knife that will do anything you want with a fine India oil stone, which, you know, you get a double-sided indraw stone. You finish on the fine, and what you do is, as you sharpen it, put less and less pressure on. So the less pressure polishes. Then get yourself off there, get yourself onto a leather stropping block with some polishing paste, and you'll have a mirror edge. You know, the rest of it. At the end of the day, people have got to tell you something. They've got to show you things. They've got to show you the latest product, because that's how they make money. That's how they get sponsorship. That's how people send them products. I'm going to get cock all doing this, aren't I? Oh well. Such is life. I've got bugger all now, so what the hell. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Please subscribe or like or something. A lot of effort goes into a lot of this stuff, you know. When you're sitting there thinking, that's okay. There's a lot of bloody effort from a lot of guys on YouTube. You know, it takes a bloody lot of effort to do this kind of thing. So, you know, please show a bit of appreciation to them. And me. And, like I said, like, subscribe, follow me on YouTube. You're on bloody YouTube. I keep bloody saying that. Instagram. Bushbimbler, NZ Bushcraft, you know, anybody from New Zealand or Australasia, something like that, get on NZ Bushcraft, get some bloody pictures on there. You know, anybody on there, as long as you're not political and you're not getting arsey and you're not abusive to anybody and all the rest of it, let's get some pictures on there, let's get some bush moots sorted out and some outdoor stuff sorted out. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Hope you enjoyed that, and I will catch you next time out there, and have an awesome few days. Thank you, guys.